No, I can't understand why it was a bombshell. Okay? I have business deals, investments all over the world. It's just, so I don't understand. Every time there's a transaction has visibility, especially you folks start connecting dots that shouldn't be connected.
Would the worry be that perhaps, well, any plans in the future to play more than one game?
Well, no more than what they are today, or they were yesterday. Just remember, and please recall just what we had the State of the Union here, what was talked about. Go back, look at the tape. Go back 6 years ago and looked at what we talked about. Look at some of the stuff behind us, the boards, the pools, next door, the sounds you hear. What do we do to make football, NFL, viable in Jacksonville? And it was very clear after I got here that, we need to, we're the smallest franchise in NFL. We have very unique demographics. There are more non-Jaguar fans in Jacksonville than Jaguar fans. It's a fact of life. So instead of complaining about it, we want to be proactive, do something about it, and be at the cutting edge of a franchise that can win games and have a great experience.
Why is the stadium deal good for you?
Which stadium deal?
Wembley.
I think Wembley is good because it gives us assurance that we're going to have access to it to play games when we want to play games. And that is a very, very important part of Jacksonville Jaguars, being able to play over there. Look at the sponsors we have. They certainly weren't here when we didn't have international exposure. Just walk over there to Daly's place. Look at how many sponsors are there who don't even have U.S. Business, who are supporting Jacksonville Jaguars. So corporate sponsorships, ability to play when we want to play, really NFL to play there. It's very important.
How likely is it that you'll be able to host NFL games that are not involving your team?
I think it's highly likely we'll be able to do that. So it gives, what's good for us is good for the NFL and vice versa. So for NFL to have access there to a great stadium when it makes sense for them is also very important.
Above and beyond, paying yourself rent when the Jaguars play there, what are the benefits for the Jaguars specifically from this? Are there some other direct benefits?
There are many. We get exposure internationally. Okay, just think about it. 6 years ago, we were 31 out of 32 teams overseas. Today, depending on the poll, we're either from number 2 to number 5. What does that mean? That means we have identity. People want to watch our games. They want to wear our apparel, build the brand. So we're doing something we couldn't do here. It'd be physically impossible.
You think the purchase of Wembley will enhance that? Is that
absolutely? I think it enhances that, and what it does is, gives us some confidence that what we're doing over there. We've had a full-time staff in London for sponsorships, planning our games for a long time. Gives them some certainty that we're going to be able to keep that up.
Shad, how just much of a concern was it that non-NFL events might hamper the schedule at some point moving forward? Was that a realistic concern?
I think that is a big concern, and I think that's why we got into it early on. I think for us, Wembley is not only an iconic stadium, it's great for the Jaguars. I think our identity, how we play there. Just think about it. We win 3 games in a season. One of them is in London. We win 5 2 years ago. One of them is in London. Why? Because, and I asked the players that, I asked the coaches that, because we have the energy. We have the fans there. We have a full stadium there. So that tells me, how do we replicate that here? And last year we saw that towards the end of the year we started winning. The stadium was full and our players absolutely took energy from it.
How much will an NFL owner actually having the ownership of that stadium assure that future games overseas will be at Wembley and not shuffled over, a game or two to other places that don't have as many seats?
Well, you know what? To me, I think, the NFL needs to do what's good for NFL. I think for us, and I think it's good for NFL, we want to host as many NFL games there, but the Jaguars, we want to play there. I think it's part of our identity, and it's been part of our winning.
So are
your feelings hurt by the reaction?
No, my feelings aren't hurt. But I think actions speak louder than words. I think the 6 years of actions here, they should be speaking volumes more than some blog.
Do you think there'll be a, excuse me, an NFL franchise in London by 2022? And I know, for example, the Rams, own a stadium. Mr. Kroenke owns it that the Chargers are playing in. So I'm not saying it's necessarily the Jaguars, but do you think could be a franchise there?
I mean, I have no idea. I think, it's like asking, where's the stock market going to be? I have no idea. I think what we have to do is how it impacts us, really, as a franchise. And we want to take the unique aspects of Jacksonville, supplement them where we're a successful franchise. And, we're investing everything we talked about, state of the franchise. We want to try to do, and we are doing. Only thing that's preventing us is things we can't do, obviously environmental and what have you, but we're going to be, supporting the city any way we can.
Do you think it's logistically possible for a team to play a full season in London?
I don't even want to go there. I think I'm focused on where we are. Okay, so I don't want to speak for anybody, but I can speak for the Jaguars.
Your contract, do you even need a contract now since if you own the stadium for beyond 2020?
Contract for what?
Like in terms of the London Jaguar agreement?
No, of course you do, Ryan. I mean, every NFL team has to have concurrence of the league where they're playing. We will need approval from the league where we're playing, absolutely. And, I hope they're going to support us, and they know. I think the league knows how important London is for us.
Shad, you've often spoken and been very transparent about how unique the challenges are here.
Yeah.
How far out do you think of these ideas? Because it seems like a lot of the things you've done lately have really worked.
Well, I think, with sports, things that work, thank you for the compliment. Things that don't work, that too, okay? So, but more have worked. But, we've got to keep on doing that if we want to have a viable franchise. There is, NFL, it is basically an arms race, so to speak, okay? Latest technology, practice facilities, coaching. Staff, and there's a salary cap, but there are a lot of things that are, not constrained by money. And I think Mark Lamping put up some great charts. High revenue teams win. It's absolutely a fact, and we've seen that.
Shad, will Fulham play any games at Wembley?
Boy, I hope they do. Okay, that means they would be, in some cup game or some Champions League. Yeah, I hope they play a lot.
Anything above and beyond the matches that are already there, friendlies or league fixtures? No,
I don't see that. I think, I hope they do, but certainly that isn't the plan. So,
who are you drafting tonight, Shad?
Somebody really, really good. Okay, who's going to help us win the Super Bowl? That's who we're drafting.